Welcome back, fresh off a bye at Sports and Spirits. Don't act like you're not impressed. We just came out of a pretty nice weekend in sports.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it. We're also going to get into a really nice spirit this time of year. Came out a lot earlier than this time of year, but it's a nice spirit to get into this time of year. It's a cellar aged from Maker's Mark, a wheated bourbon. Not sure we've done one of those yet. I can't recall.
No,
I don't think we have.
No, yeah.
But we're going to today. We'll do that a little bit later in the segment.
Sure.
And, we're going to get right into the NFL.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's been a minute since you've seen us, but, we usually kind of talk about highlight like Thursday through the weekend for you.
Yep.
So first off, you had on Thursday night, you obviously had the stout Texans defense take on the Buffalo Bills, and what probably shocked a lot of people watching that game.
Yeah, no doubt.
A lot of people peg the Bills as, a potential Super Bowl candidate type of team, in terms of their projection at the end of the season. But I've been a big guy on believing that the Bills aren't that team. I feel like they lack depth at certain positions that give them the ability to go that far. It showed in this game. With no Dalton Kincaid and pretty much nobody on the receiving core that really was a threat outside of Khalil Shakir.
We were talking about this 2 weeks ago in our recap episode where there was a game they needed to win to continue to be that team in their division, and they lost that one, and now this one, it's like, where'd they go?
Right. I mean,
they looked like they were good, and then they just kind of fell off.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, there's got to be everybody's got to be blamed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, offense, defense, coach, everything, all those things involved. But, these are not games you should be losing if you're supposedly this Super Bowl contender that you're supposed to be.
Yep.
I just don't believe in them this year. I think the Patriots are the best team in that division. Now it's really shown it's not close.
Yeah.
The Patriots play the Giants this next coming week, and they have an opportunity to move to like 11-2.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough to beat considering they already beat the Bills.
It's so crazy that these guys were in that talk, like Super Bowl team.
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah.
Like they were like after they, beat the Chiefs, they're like, oh, this is the team to beat in the AFC. And I go, I don't know what you're watching because I don't see it.
Exactly.
But hey, that's the mirage smoke and mirrors concept we've talked about.
Especially with everything the Patriots were doing, even at that point.
I know.
It's like, what?
Are we ignoring it?
It's like, what are you guys talking about?
I mean, I guess the thought process is their assumption is that you have this is a team that's got guys that have been there, done that,
right?
In the sense that they've played in playoff situations before, whereas maybe Drake May and the Patriots players that are a little younger haven't. So that's where there's always that okay, is this young team, gonna execute when the pressure's on,
right?
Whereas this veteran team, that's why everyone is always like, well, watch out for the Chiefs because hypothetically. The Chiefs going into, Foxborough and playing the Patriots, they could beat them.
Yep.
Absolutely. With the veteran quarterback that is Mahomes and, the team that's done it.
Right.
So it's just tough because, football, when it comes to the end of the year, regular season records are relevant if you can't win your playoff matchup.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. So.
How was Drake May last year? I can't remember.
Well, he didn't start off the year as the quarterback.
Got it.
They rested him a little bit behind Jacoby Brissett.
Yep.
Which now we're seeing him play for the Cardinals, and he's playing pretty well actually. But he kind of took over mid-season.
Yep.
And actually he looked really good. He just had I think he had a little injury at the end of the year, so they shut him down.
Yep.
But yeah, no, he looked really good, and I think we've seen this year that the potential there is just
makes it
endless.
Even crazier in my mind that if somebody rookie
Yep.
that year,
right,
was looking as good as he did last year, why are people sleeping on him even again this year? It's like, what are you guys thinking?
I think because you had the concept of a new coach change. You didn't know what was going to happen in that system. But if you've watched Mike Vrabel over his career, I mean, when he was with the Titans, he didn't even have any good players on his team outside of Derrick Henry.
Good.
And he almost went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Now he's got a quarterback that could be a top 5 QB in the NFL.
Yep.
Why not believe that this team could be a potential contender at the end of the season? Because they're gonna have the home field advantage if they win out.
Yep.
Because their schedule's soft. So we'll
Well,
see.
the prove it story is always kind of fun.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're proving it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Next is the Packers-Vikings. Caught some of this one, and it was depressing. As a Vikings fan, depressing.
Yeah. The Vikes went on the road, played in Lambeau, and it was not a close game.
No.
The score showed it was closer than it actually felt.
Yeah. In the beginning, it looked like it was kind of a decent matchup
Right.
as far as like low scoring.
Sure.
They were kind of stopping each other, doing that type of thing. But
Yep.
then the Vikings just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a
I
short.
don't know that they were actually even together in the beginning. I'm not saying that they were that they had anything. They were falling apart from falling
Right.
apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, obviously, JJ McCarthy's gotten a lot of scrutiny in the public eye.
Big time.
It's always tough when you come on a team that was 14-3.
2 red zone interceptions.
Yeah, just not good. I mean, it's just tough. The NFL is a tough sport. I mean, obviously, playing in those high pressure situations is not easy. But you just got to be better. That's at the end of the day. I mean, you're obviously getting paid to play that position, and if you can't execute that position, somebody else will get the opportunity to do it. He also was put in concussion protocol this past week too. So that begs the question: was he playing out there with his head kind of loopy out there in the second half because he kind of got hit pretty hard in like the third quarter, and they didn't take him out of the game or anything. So maybe there's that element as well. So I don't know. It's tough either way. It's not a great loss for the Vikings. It probably ends their playoff chances this season. So
how about this overtime finish?
Yeah,
Chiefs Colts.
It was a good game. It was a super good game. The Colts had a pretty big lead. If I'm not mistaken, they were up like 20-9, and yeah, it was just a really battled back Chiefs team. That veteran component that we've talked about in these close situational games that, they just always seem to find a way to stay in it. And they battled back all the way to tie it up 20-20.
Back-to-back TD drives.
Yeah.
In the fourth.
Yes,
That's
they
crazy.
did. And, getting to that point, I mean, it just shows that in the NFL, you can be down but not out, if you have the right guys on your side. And it's all momentum. Momentum's important. And, obviously,
if you can get that momentum in the fourth quarter, not that you want to be in that situation where you're down by two scores,
right? But
wow,
yeah. So I mean, it was cool to see. I mean, obviously, they got the win in overtime, game-winning field goal. But they're still playoff contenders. I mean, they're going to be probably the only team that I would take in the NFL that, if they're on the road, I like their chances against a team at their home place.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of times, obviously a home team's favored in any kind of playoff format.
Yep.
The Chiefs are one team that I think are the anomaly to that, where I don't think it's going to be as big of a factor.
Yeah.
Just because they've played so many playoff games over the course of the last 5-6 years.
Right.
All the Super Bowls they've been to. Like, it doesn't matter where they play. I like their odds if given that they're all healthy,
right?
And that they're playing just there. If they make it to the playoffs, they have a shot.
Yeah.
That's always my mentality as a fan, if I was a player, like, just get me to the playoffs, give me a shot. And worst case scenario, you lose, but you got a shot.
Because most of their integral players have been with them for the last few years.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you even have some up and coming guys, that they've added this last couple of years with Rashee Rice, who's really turning it on, and then obviously Xavier Worthy last year,
right?
So like guys like that are like kind of the replacement cogs, from guys like Tyreek Hill that they had a while back and stuff like that. Juju Smith-Schuster's back on the roster.
Sure,
just the character guys, obviously with Kelsey and Pacheco and some of the guys on defense, but. Yeah, I like their chances this year if they make the playoffs as a late run here. So we'll see.
Speaking of our boy Drake May,
I mean, they stayed red hot. They did play a relatively shorthanded Bengals team. Obviously, Joe Burrow he's now activated their window. But Joe Flacco started this one. Jamar Chase was suspended for the spit gate.
Right.
He spit on Jalen Ramsey, so he did not play in this one. But hey, a win's a win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how it happens. It's that it happens. So they won 26-20. They improved to 10-2 on the season. They got one more game before a bye week. You're talking about a team that could potentially be 11-2 going into week 14.
Part of being in the NFL is keeping your team respectful.
Yeah, that's an element.
It's like if your team isn't doing the right stuff off the field or even on the field, like just even out of gameplay, it's like, that's still part of the game. You got to be in it.
No disagreement. I mean, you could argue easily that if Jamar plays this game, they win.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that game could potentially have eliminated them from playoff contention. And, I mean, there's rumor that Joey B's back, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
What about the Bears?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that going into the season wasn't talked about enough. I mean,
that's crazy again.
I mean, we knew that with the new coach, there was always going to be that element of what are they going to look like. And with Ben Johnson, honestly, that offense has looked phenomenal. They have some of the best weapons in the NFL at all three layers.
Yep.
You know, you got 2 running backs and DeAndre Swift, Kyle Monunga. You got a bunch of receivers and
It had guys down, but everybody just stepped up into that.
Yeah, I mean, Luther Burden, obviously DJ Moore, 2 touchdowns this week, Roma Dunze, and then you got the 2-layer tight ends, Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. I mean, when you have those weapons on the outside, it takes the pressure off the quarterback.
Right.
And you've seen him thrive.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, obviously the Steelers played without Aaron Rodgers in this one. Mason Rudolph started. But a 31-28 victory is still a victory. You moved to 8-3, first in your division. Big game this next week, but either way, the Bears get another one.
Talk about a sleeper team.
Yeah, I mean, I actually said going into the year that I think that they might win the division.
Sure.
So, I mean,
so it wasn't a sleeper to him.
No,
but the rest of everybody else.
Because I'm just a big believer that like, pen and paper is totally different than actuality.
Sure.
You know, like you can't just like automatically assume that a team that's done it is going to repeat. Like I saw the Lions having trouble with losing their entire coaching staff.
Yeah.
And they have struggled at times this year in terms of, you know, winning. And speaking of the Lions,
but they won this one.
Yeah, but it wasn't pretty.
Sure, it was super ugly.
It was super ugly. I mean, we're talking about it ended up being a thriller.
Another OT.
I mean, Jameis Winston had one of those like Jameis Winston games that like he just lit it up. He even had a receiving touchdown in this.
310 yards, 3 TDs.
Yeah, and one of them was a receiving touchdown.
Really?
A 39-yard receiving touchdown. They ran like a QB pass to him, and he like made the defender miss to score a TD. It was the craziest celebration ever. But as we've become accustomed to, he does this on a regular basis. Jahmyr Gibbs has another one of those 200-yard on the ground, 3 touchdown performances. He is just one of those electric players that you just can't miss when you watch him play.
Right.
He's just so much faster than everybody else, and he busts those big ones more than anybody else. You know, in terms of that big play. I mean, he had 2, I think a 69-yard and a 49-yard touchdown run. I mean, those are huge, you know. I mean, that doesn't happen in today's NFL very often.
No.
And he's one of those players that's just really special. So all power to him. Congrats on the Lions on the victory there.
I hate seeing the Sea Chickens win. Only because that was our quarterback.
Correct. Yeah, I mean,
come on.
I mean, this one was probably an expected W.
Right.
You know, playing the Titans. But I wouldn't be a football fan if I didn't address the situation here that we have with JSN.
Yeah.
So
Big year.
But first of all, 30-24 victory Seahawks. The Titans put on a fight at the end there, but the Seahawks held on, got the win. That's a really big victory for them. They were coming off a tough loss. But JSN, he now passes DK Metcalf to set the new franchise record for receiving yards in one season with over 1,332 receiving yards. Keep in mind, that is only 11 games. That has only been 11 games so far for JSN.
He's going to set quite an unbreakable or a difficult to break record.
I mean, so the pace that he's chasing is obviously Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
You know, he set the receiving yard mark, but JSN is on pace for roughly just shy of 2,100 receiving yards this year. And here's the caveat of this. He's going to do it in 50 less targets than some of these other guys.
Dang.
You know, he's on pace to, do it with significantly less targets, which is impressive.
That's crazy.
You know, so that one year that Kelvin Johnson had that amazing season, he had over 220 targets. And JSN,
so is it long bombs or is it like he gets the ball and just goes?
It's both.
Really?
You know, so like I think so
he's a threat both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been an anti JSN believer just because I just haven't watched enough of it, and now after watching a few games, I mean, he finds the open spots. It's the system. Darnold finds him in his slots, but he's also a very good in space receiver.
Okay,
you know, the yards after catch, the yak they like to say. That's really important in the NFL because that's what sets you apart from just everybody else.
Yeah,
and
can you get around your defenders?
Yeah, and then they've put him in situations to just be successful. You know, put him in the slot, put him outside. You know, kind of move him around. They found he's got a lot of deep touchdowns this year, which does help your yardage. Obviously, 60-yard bombs that he had. Whatever. But he's just been really special.
So
and
he's super
awesome.
versatile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you're underestimating him because he's not the biggest receiver.
Sure.
You know, he's not going to line up across from you and be Justin Jefferson or be Devontae Adams or Jamar Chase, but man, is he really electric.
Good.
Yeah, he's good, man. So all power to him. Congrats on it. So far, a great start to the season, and we'll see if he continues it, and maybe it's the best one we've ever seen. We'll see.
So many close games this weekend.
Yes. And this was
America's team.
Yeah, this was the most controversial in terms of the end of season for like this division.
This is the one that shook it up.
This one changed it up for sure because So the Eagles, let's
Oh,
paint
yeah.
the
Sorry.
picture.
Cowboys, Eagles.
Cowboys,
Okay.
Eagles. Let's paint the picture for you. So you had the afternoon slate. The Cowboys were hosting the Eagles. So the Eagles are going on the road, pivotal divisional matchup. They're up 21-0. They're up 21 rip. I mean, they start off hot. It's like, oh my God, the Dallas they're out of it. And something about it where they just like fought and clawed all the way back. The Eagles, their like last 6 possessions, they had 4 punts, a fumble,
Yep.
and a missed field goal.
Dang.
That does not translate to victory.
No.
And so it shows you that maybe we were right that the Eagles offense at times cannot be as good as they think they are.
Yep.
And so Dallas, with what we've talked about on numerous occasions, having that high powered offense,
Yep.
just kind of got their way back into the game,
Right.
and they even missed a field goal. Mr.
Still
Automatic,
made it.
Aubrey, and they still made it, hitting a game-winning field goal to win 24-21. I mean, this is an absolutely massive win.
So they just flipped the entire NFC East.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because this changes the whole outcome. Because, I mean, now you're talking about, if Dallas can, make a stretch win on the way out, and the Eagles got a really tough schedule because they play our division too.
Dang.
But also just got to address Dak becomes the all-time leader in passing yards for the Cowboys, passing Tony Romo on Sunday.
For real?
Yeah, I mean,
He's not even old.
no, he's 32.
He's got a ways to go.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go for sure. I mean, it shows you how the NFL has changed. How actually good of a passer Dak never gets credit for.
Yep.
Obviously he's had a lot of good seasons where he's had a lot of yards on and just because garbage time.
Yep.
But you gotta those all add up,
Right.
And you gotta give credit to where credit's due. I mean,
Yep.
if to become an all-time passing leader on a team is obviously a big accomplishment. It also shows you played for that same team for a long time.
Yeah.
So either way, really cool accomplishment for him and his family. So
Here's a few games that didn't end quite as tight as all the previous ones we mentioned.
yes,
And here's where they kind of start with the Browns and Raiders.
yeah, Browns Raiders. We saw obviously the first career start, Shadir Sanders.
There we go.
Very talked about quarterback. In the public eye. Fell down to the 5th round for Cleveland, and honestly, he looked pretty good. I would say that they're going to lean on him the rest of the way through. I think there's no way you don't see what you got in him.
Especially at this point in the season, it's like,
Right. I mean, obviously we
not?
played a Raiders team.
Yep.
Raiders team, I would say, could be one of the worst, if not the worst teams in the entire NFL.
that's crazy.
But Myles Garrett, I have to talk about one of the best players in football. Definitely the best player on defense. He stays red hot. He has now got 12 sacks in his last 4 games,
Ooh.
putting him at over 18 on the season, breaking his own franchise record, which he set a couple years back. He's on pace to have one of the best seasons ever on defense.
Big sack guy.
I mean, athletically, there's not a guy that's been built better to play football.
Right.
I mean, he's just huge. He's fast. He's athletic. He's strong. It's just really fun to watch how much he just overpowers somebody else. It just shows the effort he puts in the offseason to get his body in the shape it is.
This guy's playing defense of the century.
Oh, yeah. It's the best defense I've ever seen. I mean, that 4-game stretch of 12 sacks is unheard of. So, I mean,
Too bad there's not like a trophy for defensive player of the century.
well, defense player of the year is going to be his. So
Yeah,
that's
for
for
sure.
sure. But he could go down as one of the best defense players ever to play the game for sure.
That's cool.
But yeah, also on Sunday night,
Another very unclose game.
Yeah, it
with
was
the Rams and the Buccaneers.
we thought it would be a lot closer game, to be honest, going into the week. We saw the Rams host the Tampa Bay Bucks, and
Luckily, we were on a bye last week, so we weren't able to call that.
Yeah.
We thought it would be closer because it wasn't.
yes, correct. It ended up being 34-7, and it honestly could have been a lot more. The Rams kind of like held off a little bit, kind of played it like safe, ran the ball, ran the clock out because the game was over. Because Baker went down with a shoulder injury in this one. Whenever you lose your starting quarterback to a shoulder injury, it is his left shoulder, so it's not his throwing arm. But either way, not great. We saw Teddy Bridgewater in the game for Tampa Bay.
Teddy Bridger, he's still alive?
Yeah, he's still in the league, man.
Oh my
He's the
gosh.
backup. So we'll have to monitor that as the week progresses, in regards to Tampa and, how that impacts their team going forward if it's a
Right.
long-term issue. But, either way, not.
Of offense.
No.
That's-
Not when Stafford's playing at the MVP level that he is.
Exactly.
Yeah, we talked about it before. Lock him in and stick with him.
Yep. He's the guy.
He's the guy. And lastly, Monday night.
49ers,
Panthers. Yeah. It was this is the second game the 49ers were prospectively on offense at full strength. It didn't really look pretty.
No.
It was not. Brock Purdy, 3 picks. Basically, the only thing that mattered on offense is if you had Kittle and McCaffrey, you did well. But that was about it. It was a McCaffrey show. Obviously, first time playing his former team in the Panthers.
Oh, nice.
They get a big win, 20-9. It wasn't pretty, but a win's a win. We've talked about it. The 49ers are a team that, given their offensive ability and that team being a team that's been to the Super Bowl, come playoff time, it's not one I want to see.
Right.
But that defense is suspect to, giving up some big plays, so we'll see. But they got a big one next week before they head into their bye as well in Week 14.
Hot dang, there it is.
There you go.
You can't beat that weekend. Well, actually, we'll be able to beat that weekend.
Yeah, probably.
This coming
one,
weekend's going to be great, and you'll need to catch that in our forecast video coming Thursday. So make sure you tune in for that, hit that like and subscribe button so that you know and are aware when these things are coming out. But before we continue, we're going to take a quick second to talk about this illustrious spirit that we have before us. Coming from Maker's Mark, it is the 2025 Cellar Aged release, and this is the third of this release.
That is correct. Yeah.
It started in 2023, and 2023 was tasty. 2024 was meh,
I agree.
and 2025, I think, made a comeback.
Okay. Haven't had it yet, so we'll see.
Here we go.
About to change that?
We're about to change that right now. If you haven't seen the Rare Barrel channel, Rare Barrel Whiskey, on YouTube, go check that out. When I started the channel, I had to come up with like we're losing here. I had to come up with a catchphrase that was something that I could keep coming back to, almost in an annoying way, so that people would be like, that's his thing. And I did, and it was, I've never had this before, but we're going to change that right now. This is a wheated bourbon. Forgot to mention this one's coming in at 112.9 proof.
Okay.
This one has a blend of 11-year, 13-year, and 14-year.
Okay. It's mostly 11.
Yep.
But some of the older stuff as well.
Yeah, the 11's 74%, 13's 10%, and the 14 is 16%.
Got it.
It's got a great nose.
Yes, it does.
It's got
Yes,
your
it
powdered
does.
Sugar. It's got your vanillas. Oh, wow. What is that? I don't remember this one. It's been too long.
I haven't had it, so I'm going off first notes here.
rip. Yeah, it's got the caramel.
Yeah.
Really a lot of... It's almost like a powdered sugar mixed with like a honey almost.
Okay.
For me. You getting any fruit? I'm not getting any fruit yet.
No.
Ooh, it's got that nice baking spice.
Yeah.
A nice super sweet like oak that goes through the whole palate from start to finish for me.
Right. I thought it was softer in the mid palate than I expected.
Once you got it on the palate?
Yeah. It's softer than I expected it to be, just being that it's older.
Yeah, you didn't really get, like mine gave me this interesting outline tingle on my tongue.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
kind of just
from
like
the tip
bypassed
all
the
the-
mid
yeah.
palate. Yeah.
Nothing down the middle, just a tingle all the way around the outside of my tongue. It's crazy. Very interesting experience.
It's different for sure. I like the experience compared to some of the stuff we've talked about in the past.
Yep. It's got a interesting. Maybe it's just this this sip. I haven't had anything today, so this is it.
Right.
But it's like almost like a hay note, which is weird.
Yeah, I'm getting the grain there for sure.
Which you wouldn't expect from that age.
No. Yeah, I think I
Interesting.
agree with you on that, like honey sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
It's there.
This is a very limited release.
Yeah.
Every year. Comes out, what? Around July, August, September, somewhere in there.
Yeah, third quarter.
Yep. So it's difficult to find. I happened to pick this one up at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And there's quite the story about that. If you want to check that out, you should check out the Rare Barrel Whiskey channel. It was quite a stampede to get this bad boy. And people were squishing and shoving, and great story. Great story. Go check it out. But that's it.
You may have found one or two, eh?
Yeah, I might have found a couple. Might have found a couple. Passed the other one off. There you have it. Maker's Mark. Wheated bourbon. Something a little different. Something kind of worth chasing. I mean, there are others higher on my list as far as allocated whiskeys go that I would say
Right.
I would chase more. But
Yeah.
this one's still on the list just because it's something different.
Yeah, and especially if you have the first two.
Right. Yep.
It'd be cool to compare the three,
That would.
like a blind, and
Yeah.
see how they progress over the years and how they change the profile and which one
Right.
I like better.
Yep.
I'm sure the first one would win if I'm being honest, based on
Same.
having that sip.
100%.
I think I agree with you there.
First one. And that's kind of seems like that's the way most of these, the start of these
Yeah.
limited releases
Yeah, it's
go
always
is
that
because
first one.
they want their first one to be
Yeah,
like,
pride
all
and
right,
joy.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to chase this one, and here's why.
Yeah.
And then you chase it from there on out, and it's like, wait
Yeah.
a second. Did you guys mail these next two in or what?
Yeah, right. I like try to you're trying to chase that same experience,
Right.
and it just doesn't come
Yeah.
back to you. So, but
That's why you don't do drugs, kids.
exactly, absolutely, I will agree on that one. That is for sure.
There it is.
Yeah,
Let's jump into some fantasy football headlines.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's just start off with that Packer game. Emmanuel Wilson had a great game for his first career start. You know, he had over 100 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. If anything, this is like if Josh Jacobs, first of all, if Josh Jacobs is not able to return by Thursday for their
Yep.
Thursday night game, you got to lock him in no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they have a tough matchup. Detroit's really good against the run, but if he's going to get that kind of usage, you're putting him in your lineup. But one thing to temper expectations for the rest of the season is Josh Jacobs.
Sure.
You know, because this could be one of those where you could see like more of a 60-40 split. Like
Okay.
it gives me a lot of those same vibes that they got going in Chicago right now, or you know, with like Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift, very
Yep.
similar component. You know, Josh Jacobs is still the back. Let's not get it twisted. He's
Right.
still the starter. Manuel Wilson's the backup, but you could see him come in and spare him because he's got a little juice.
Oh, for
You know,
sure.
he had some juice in that game, and you know, Josh Jacobs. Don't get me wrong, he's still a phenomenal running back, one of the best in the NFL.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're trying to limit his touches getting to the playoffs these next 5-6 weeks, if you have Emmanuel Wilson, don't cut him on your team. Keep him, stash him on the bench. Worst case scenario, you can given week you can throw him in as a flex play, you know, whatever. But
Yep.
yeah, it was a good performance out of him either way, but one to monitor as the weeks progress.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's cool. 24 touches.
Yeah, he had a great game for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, Rashee Rice. We talked about it. He dominates once again. I believe he had like 8 catches, 140 yards in this one. Obviously went to overtime. He has the ability to be a league winner.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you had the ability to, you know, just buy in on the potential what he could be at the end of the season, barring that 6-game suspension, or if you made a trade for him till you acquired him, all power to you. Because those mid rounds or in your draft or all those things, it could be the reason why you win your fantasy championship.
Yep.
I mean, he's going to be a 20 to 25 point per game score on average.
Yep.
You know, even if he doesn't score touchdowns the rest of the way, the Chiefs got to win out.
Right.
You know, and like that's the mentality, win everything. And
Yep.
he's their best player on offense, so they're going to feed him the rock. Either way, it's been really cool to see, you know, that he was able to come back from that injury. But if you got him on your team, lock him in. Don't even think about it. You got yourself potentially a league winner.
That's right. Lock that boy in.
Yes. Yeah. So
What about Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jahmyr Gibbs, honestly special. 55 fantasy points. Now
Right.
this is the second time this year he's got a game where he's got, you know, 3 touchdowns. He had 11 catches out of the backfield this
Yep.
week. I just honestly special out of the guy. I mean, your team is going to go as far as Jahmyr Gibbs goes.
Sure.
You know,
That makes sense.
If you're a guy that, you know, took him in the first round where he went, you know, top 5 pick, if you
Yep.
took him instead of Saquon Barkley, your team's better. If you took him instead of, you know, Justin Jefferson, your team's better.
Yep.
You know, depending on where you took these guys in the draft. I mean, he's been awesome. He's been really cool to see. I mean, it's been special. The Detroit Lions are going to lean on him the rest of the way. We've seen as Dan Campbell took over coordinating.
Yep.
It's not that 50-50 split with Montgomery anymore. It's
Right.
like 85-15, 80-20. So either way, it's going to be fun to watch, and the Lions are going to make a push for the playoffs for sure.
What about this guy that you reportedly slept on a bit or weren't all bought in on? JSN, baby.
Yeah, JSN. Yeah, I got zero stake in him in any league, and all power to you. You predicted the breakout. He's going to be the wide receiver 1 at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even going to be a question at this point. Obviously, barring any injuries, we'll knock on the table.
Yeah.
But it could be one of the best seasons we've seen of all time. He could have
record breaking, in fact, possibly.
Yeah, he'll beat Jamar Chase's totals from last year for points.
Sure.
It just has been awesome. It's really cool to see. I mean, at this point you become numb to it.
Yeah.
Like he's had 75 receiving yards in every single game this year. Every single game. So
crazy.
Going into it and you're like, oh, okay, Jason, 75 yards. Yep, lock it in. You know what I mean? Like that's a crazy concept.
Right.
75 receiving yards on a game-to-game basis for 11 in a row.
What is it, 10 TDs in 11 games?
Something like that, 10, 11, something like that. Yeah, it's just been
almost a TD a game.
Yeah,
right
it's been awesome. I mean, and then on the other side, you got like the Bears. I gotta address it.
Bears.
Obviously 8-3, they're winning games, but in terms of fantasy, they've demonstrated like no consistency,
Sure.
and that makes it really, really tough.
Yep.
Because if you're buying in on these guys to like be your week in, week out producers, but they change every given week.
Yep.
Like the best receiver on that offense is Roma Dunze. It's unquestioned, right?
Yeah.
This past week, DJ Moore scored 2 touchdowns.
So crazy.
Kyle Monungai gets more touches because Swift fumbled.
Yep.
Like you can't predict these things happening in game. So it's tough, but just be prepared for boom and bust weeks.
Right.
If you have guys that, have a safer floor and you feel more confident locking them in, do it.
Yep.
Like I got no problem with it. Like I had the same situation this past week. I almost lost my matchup. I didn't play Michael Wilson.
Sure.
For the Arizona Cardinals because I'm like, he's not going to have another 15 catches for 180 yards like he did last week. No way, right?
Yeah.
And then he has 10 grabs for like 110. So he did, And this week, I'm not making that mistake again. If Michael Wilson's playing and
he's in your lineup,
he's in my lineup. I'm not making that same mistake just because like Roma Dunze and stuff like that. You just don't know. He's had weeks where he scored 0, and he says weeks where he scored 30.
Yep.
So you just got to live with it and move on. And lastly, well, I guess not lastly, but additionally, George Pickens. I mean, just been dominant in Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, he is honestly right now. I believe he's wide receiver 2 on the season, and he's the wide receiver 2 on his offense.
6 TDs in 5 games.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, and he started the season hot too. I think he scored in the first like 4, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. He's having a great season. He's potentially the biggest steal in the draft this year.
Dang.
I know we talked about JSN being a guy that fell to the mid 3rd, 4th, 5th round. George Pickens at earliest was a 5th or 6th round pick at earliest.
Yeah.
In your draft, and I know in my one house league draft he went in like round 10. I took Roma Dunze over Pickens just because I already had CD Lamb. And
Good
man,
sleeper
I wish
to have on your team.
I know, and so that's how you win fantasy championships. If you get guys that outshoot their projection or their pick value, that's how you set yourself different from your league mates.
Right. Yep.
Like a lot of 10th round picks on a lot of teams are cut.
Yep.
Dropped, injured, whatever. He's a league winner. He's a top 5 wide receiver.
Just take a flyer every once in a while.
You never know. I mean, the begs the question: if you're Dallas, you signing him next season. He's a free agent. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You tying up 30 million, 25 million. What are you doing? I mean, if you're Pickens, do you try to go somewhere else? And see if you're worth more to somebody else, but then you might not have the same success.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm the player, I'm taking the 25 million.
Yep.
And being the wide receiver 2, playing with CD Lamb and Dak Prescott. But on the other hand, these guys don't think about that.
Right.
They don't care about the success. They care about the bread.
Yep.
And so when it comes to a guy like that, and we know he's a very heated player.
Yeah.
He's been suspended on numerous occasions for altercations on the field, off the field.
Right.
This is a guy that, given the opportunity, if he gets a contract bag that's just substantial, he's not going to pass it up.
How old is he right now?
Oh, he's in year 4.
Okay.
So he's a young, talented receiver getting right into his prime.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And his ability to go up and get the ball is pretty barn here. I mean, the only guy that's better, in my opinion, in the league is the guy we're talking about next is Devontae Adams.
Sure.
Devontae Adams scored 2 more touchdowns. It puts him at 12 on the season.
12 TDs. Let's go.
By far the best signing in terms of acquisition in the offseason.
Sure.
Obviously George Pickens was traded.
Yep.
But acquisition-wise in football, It's just translating to success, not just in the win column, but also fantasy for the Rams.
Yep.
I mean, everybody's becoming more successful having this guy on the field.
Right.
I mean, he is historically the best wide receiver inside the 5-yard line in the history of the NFL. His conversion rating on big plays and jump ball situations is bar none.
Yeah.
And Stafford, as you've seen in his career,
Yeah.
I think he knows how to throw the football.
He's pretty good at
to
it.
the guys that are open.
He's good.
You know,
He's good.
I mean, he's had some of the best seasons around him in regards to the NFL. You know, we're kind of not even talking about Puka Nacua right now.
Yeah.
Because of how good Devontae Adams has been playing. Imagine now you got both those guys on the. I mean, watch out! I've been calling it all season.
All season. I've
been saying the Rams are legit. And
if you're one of the OGs that's been watching all season,
yeah, let us know.
Yep.
Let us know if you remember that from like week 1, week 2.
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. But yeah, Rams all the way, baby. I think they're going to be special. I think they have a chance. If they end the season as the number 1 seed, the Rams will win the Super Bowl. That's my comment. Now. If they end the season as the number 1 seed, they win the Super Bowl.
They win it.
It doesn't matter who they
Hot
play in the
take
AFC.
right there.
I think they win the Super Bowl if they're the number 1 seed because there's
Write it
nobody that's going to beat them at home.
Right.
There's not one team. I don't think there's a single team in the NFC that beats them at home. The only thing that's against them is that they are, even if it's home field advantage, they don't play in cold weather climate. So any team can play in a dome.
Yeah.
In theory, as in terms of atmosphere.
Yep.
Whereas like it would be more of an advantage for a team like Green Bay or Philly to have the outside advantage of knowing they always play in the cold.
Yep.
Like a warm weather team like the Rams going on the road to play in Philly. We saw last year they ended up losing that game.
Yep.
Now if Philly has to come play in the Rams, sorry, air raid offense, Rams to the moon.
Yeah.
That's my take, but we'll see what happens.
There it is. That's fantasy football. Now we're going to go to the feeder leagues. A quick look at the NCAA
very quick.
football.
Yeah, very quick look here. Not a bunch of like crazy games on this week's matchups, but we'll just kind of address a couple of them. You had 8th ranked Oklahoma hosted 22nd ranked Missouri, and just in another defensive battle, Oklahoma prevails.
Yep.
This is kind of one of those where it's setting up where Oklahoma's got one big game left here and locked themselves in for a playoff.
Yeah.
Based on how the records work, if anybody knows anything about college football, is that the championships are who plays in them are the top 2 teams based on record within their conference.
Yep.
So unfortunately for Oklahoma, being that they have 2 losses, they are actually 2 losses within their conference. So they will not be playing the SEC championship, but that probably benefits them because that means they're going to sneak into the playoffs without having to play in that game.
There you go.
So sometimes the positive is the negative.
Huh. Who would have thought?
Yeah. And then 7th ranked Oregon had 15th ranked USC.
Talk about a high scoring Oregon team.
Yeah, right. We've talked about this year. Dante Moore is a special quarterback. He's been talked about as potentially being the number 1 pick in next year's draft class.
Yep.
This was a big game in the Big Ten. USC, had they won this game, might have pushed themselves into, potentially playoff contention. But honestly, Oregon just looked sharper. They just looked better on the day and winning 42-27. And it just, I think it locks in Oregon for that big matchup and come this next week going into the playoffs.
Yep.
And because in the Big Ten, as we have talked about in the past, you will see the battle of Indiana versus Ohio State in that Big Ten championship. And both those teams are going to still be in the playoff.
Yep.
So any of these Big Ten teams that are sneaking that top 12 that don't have to play in that game, all power to them.
Right.
That's the element of today's college football, and the Big Ten and the SEC are so top heavy in regards to other conferences that you have a lot of teams that make it. So.
What about Texas?
Yeah.
A couple of Texases.
Yeah, a couple of different ones. Yeah, you got 23rd ranked Houston lost to Tennessee. Excuse me, TCU. You're right. It was TCU 17-14, ending their playoff chances this year.
Oh,
so
man.
I don't think they were really a contender on paper, but in terms of how it works with like the top 5 teams that win their respective conferences automatically get a bid.
Right.
This eliminates them completely. Unfortunately, TCU got the win in this one. Although 12th ranked Utah narrowly outlast Kansas State 51-47 in an offensive shootout. Kansas State was one of those teams early preseason ranked super high.
Another high scoring game.
Yeah, Kansas State, I think beginning of the season started ranked like 13th in the nation. So this is not a slouch team on paper. Obviously they have a lot of talented players, but
combined 1,100 total yards.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. It was just
where
up
were
and
their
down.
defenses?
Yeah, not there. It was not there. It was bad, dude. It was really bad. And then the one that's probably the most playoff implicated game of the week. You had 16th ranked Georgia Tech get stunned at home against Pittsburgh 42-28, ending their hopes this season because Georgia Tech has Georgia this next coming week.
Oh.
So had they won this game, then beaten Georgia at home, you're talking about a team that's in the top 12 locked in, guaranteed. Now you're out. You know?
Screwed yourself there.
Because now, I mean, there's no way I have any faith in them beating Georgia this next week after losing to Pittsburgh.
Hot dang.
Totally different concept, but yeah.
That's the NCAA.
That's it.
A lot of good stuff happening there. A lot of exciting things going on. But now we're going to talk about hoops. We're going to hoop it up.
Yeah, let's talk
about
NBA. Little NBA action here. Let's do it. First, on Thursday night, the 76ers went on the road, and they beat the Bucks. But the Bucks are shorthanded right now. Giannis is out. But I just have to address it. Tyrese Maxey, man, 54 points.
Oh, wow.
Whew. What a bucket, dude. I mean, it's one of those guys that I think he flies under the radar.
Sure.
You know, unless you're like a progressive, like active viewer of basketball.
Yeah.
Like he's not a guy, oh my God, Tyrese Maxey, I know that name.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't like jump off the paper like a guy like Anthony Edwards
or
Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
You know, guys like that. And I had an opportunity in my fancy basketball league to draft him over Jalen Brunson, and man, do I hate that I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did not. I didn't do it, man. I didn't do it, and it hurts me every time I watch his box scores.
Sure.
I mean, partly it's because Joel Embiid hasn't played.
Yeah.
You know, if Joel Embiid plays, that changes the whole component of that offense. He's taking 25 shots a game. Joel Embiid would be. You know, and now Maxey's taking 30 because there's no Embiid.
Yep.
You know, so. I took Embiid and he hasn't played in like the last 2 weeks. And it's just like, God, I know. It's just brutal. It is what it is. That's basketball. But either way, all power to him. He's had a really good start to this season. He's definitely on pace to be an all-star and potentially an all-NBA player this year. So cool stuff.
What about these Wolves collapsing?
Oh, God, it's bad. Yeah, so we're talking about Friday night. We had another set of the NBA Commissioner Cup games. The Wolves went on the road against the Suns, and they were beating them up pretty much the entire game. They had like an 8-point lead with 50 seconds to go, and just an utter collapse. I mean, I watched the game. I still can't believe it happened. Like, they gave up a 3. They turned it over. They gave up another bucket. I mean, then we went down on offense. Ant missed 2 free throws.
What?
We were up 1. Ant missed 2 free throws, and then they go back down, and Connor Gillespie hits a game winner to beat us by 1.
Oh, my gosh.
And if you know anything about the Commissioner Cup, you know, if we would have won that game, we'd have been 3-0.
Sure.
And we would have been playing Oklahoma City Thunder for the chance to win our division, win our pool.
Gosh.
Now we have to beat the Thunder to stay in the cup. You know, so had we won that game, we could have still lost to the Thunder and still made it.
Yep.
Still made it.
Yep.
You know, still been in the top 8.
Yep.
You know, because of our point differential and everything. So yeah, that's obviously a very big loss. And anytime you lose into that Western Conference against those strength of opponent teams, you know, the Suns have won a few in a row.
Yep.
You know, Dylan Brooks has looked amazing for that team. Devin Booker. They're winning some streaky games I didn't see coming. I had them as a bottom team in the NBA,
sure.
You know, like on paper, you know, and they're not looking like it. So it's cool to see.
No doubt.
Also on Friday night, you had the Nuggets. They went on the road and took on the Rockets. Always a great game when you see Jokic play KD, Sengun. Just another massive performance from Jokic. I mean, it's just becoming like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we become so like, I lost in the fact of how good he is because you're just watching. You're like, oh yeah, that's just
Jokic.
Just
him.
That's just him.
Yeah.
It was a big win, obviously, with the Commissioner Cup winning 112-109. You know, I mean, the Nuggets are a team I actually do believe this year are going to be a little bit better than they were because they have a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
You know, and they've had some injuries to start the year, so that's going to be tough to monitor. They got Christian Braun out for a month.
Yep.
They got Aaron Gordon now went down with a grade 2 hamstring strain, so he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Guys like that are, you know, very integral to that offense.
Yep.
You know, that depth will be tested.
No doubt.
And so this next month we'll see what their record translates to in terms of wins and losses. But, you know, Jamal Murray and Jokic are special players, and when they play together, they're pretty good. So.
What about these Bulls?
Yeah, the Bulls.
Are they turning it around? On the offense,
I think so. Yeah. I think we saw the return of Kobe White.
Yep.
You know, he's kind of their main guy. Like he's like their guy they want to build around. Him and Josh Giddey.
Yep.
And it turned out to be a really good game. The Wizards have had a tough season. You know, I believe they moved to like 1-16 on the season. They're really bad. One win. Yeah. They almost got one here though. They almost did.
Only by 1 point.
Yeah,
Missed it.
they only lost by 121-120. But either way, I just wanted to address Kobe White's back for the Bulls and the Bulls are going to be a playoff team this year, which is cool to see because, I mean, we all growing up in the 90s, saw the MJ era, and it just became a custom that the Bulls were good. And
come on.
then D Rose came back around, and that was fun to watch, back then before he got injured. And we'll see what happens with the Bulls this year. I don't see him as a potential, NBA Finals contender, but, a playoff team nonetheless in that East Conference will be either good for that fan base.
It'll be fun to see him come back a little bit.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, and then continuing on Saturday, he had the Kings go on the road and beat the Nuggets.
Wow.
Yeah, so a big game from Russell Westbrook and his return to his former team from last season. It was 128, 123. Like, these are the numbers we'd be seeing from Jokic right here. 44 points, 13 boards, 7 assists. Unreal.
Crazy.
And that's a losing effort. You know what I mean? Like, that's a loss, I mean, and that's just like a normal stat
So
line.
it's not because of him. He's doing everything he can.
He seems to be trying hard.
Right.
He seems to be trying really hard. Yeah. And then let's transition a little bit. Sunday, obviously, there's way more games, guys. If you want to hear more coverage, absolutely let us know in the comments what you want to hear, what teams you want us to cover.
Yep.
I'm kind of addressing either like really close games or games of teams that are really like record-wise are highly in the standings, you know, whatever, just so that, we don't overbore you here.
Yeah.
But on Sunday, you had the Atlanta Hawks host the Charlotte Hornets in a very just close game. You got two very young teams I like to talk about, up-and-coming teams.
Yep.
Big performance out of Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
He's having a really hot start to this season with no Trae Young. He really had to take that next step up. I like him as an all-star this season. I know it's a little bit of that dark horse. I know we talked about Trae Young being a really special player, but if Jalen Johnson keeps up on this, I mean, he's one of the best 3-and-D players in the entire NBA.
There you go.
So that's one of those comments. Just want to address that. Also Sunday, the Celtics played the Magic for like the third time in like 10 days, like Commissioner Cup, scheduling wise, whatever.
A lot of stuff going on for them.
But nonetheless, the Celtics got the win, 138, 129 on a shorthanded Magic team. No Ben Carroll, no Suggs in this one. But Jaylen Brown, another big game. I mean, dude's an actual walking bucket. Other than his hairline, everything else seems to be going well with him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do some research on that. He's got maybe some painted on hairlines on there. You never know. Take a look at that. It's pretty funny. But yeah.
Maybe we'll toss a picture up.
Toss a photo up if we come across it. Yeah, his hairline be wiping off on people's jerseys, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, either way, he's a
Just
special.
go to Turkey, brother.
Yeah, I know. He's a special basketball player, one of the smartest guys in the league. He's got a master's degree. He's just a really good, human being at the end of the day. So it's cool to see him kind of get some of that limelight as he deserves, because like he's always been overshadowed by Jason Tatum.
Oh, sure.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, Jason Tatum's a phenomenal basketball player, one of the best in the NBA, but Jaylen Brown's no slouch either. I mean, he's getting paid like it. Let's not get it twisted. He's getting paid like $60 million. He should play well.
You better play well for that money.
At about $1 million a game almost, darn near.
Dang.
It's pretty crazy. But either way, cool there.
What about the Lakers Jazz?
Yeah, LeBron's back, baby.
He's back.
Yeah, he missed the first couple weeks of the season. He's back in this one against the Jazz in what turned out to be a very close game. It took all three of the Lakers stars, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron to get the win here. Because honestly, Utah's Keontae George was special in this one, but he's been phenomenal this season. I think he has the ability to be the most improved player at the end of the season. He will win that award unquestionably. Wow. You're talking about a guy last year that had to like split minutes with like 5 or 6 different point guards.
Yep.
Colin Sexton's now in Charlotte. Jordan Clarkson's now in New York. He's taken over as the lead guard on that team, and he's the scorer. Yeah. I mean, and he's his ability to shoot and create in one-on-one situations. It's almost a young Kyrie Irving. That's how good he's been. Maybe just a slightly not as good of a ball handler because Kyrie's one of my favorite in terms of his ability to dribble. But yeah, special player. If you got him in fantasy, which I do, it's nice. It helps. But yeah, I mean, because otherwise it gives you a reason to watch Utah. And that's the thing I love with basketball. If there's a special player on a team that's maybe not as good record-wise, it gives you a reason to watch. Right. And him and Lauri Markkanen are fun to watch, and that's why I love watching the Jazz.
Wrap her up with a Monday night game with the Wolves, Sacramento Kings.
Another one that the Timberwolves blew.
Dang nabbit.
We took one on the road against the Kings. We blew another big lead in the fourth quarter. I think we were up like 12 points at one point. 10 points, I think, at the minimum with like 4:50 to go. Yeah. And the Kings forced overtime, and we ended up losing in overtime like 117, 112. I mean, only positive out of this one, back-to-back 40-point games for Anthony Edwards. I
There you
mean,
go.
dude is a bucket. We've known that. He continues to show that, but you got to win those. That's 2 games that's inexcusable.
Right.
You have to win those games.
Especially falling apart so close to the end.
I mean, if you want to win the championship, like we've said
Right.
they could do this year,
Yep.
those are games against teams that the Kings have got like 5 wins on the year.
Yeah.
And their best player was out, Domantas Sabonis.
You think they're just running out of gas at the end, or what's the deal?
Dude, I think it's the lack of multi-level scoring that we have.
Yeah.
You know, like Gobert becomes a pylon out there in that fourth quarter.
Sure.
You know, I think if I was coaching that team, Naz Reid's got to be on that court.
Yeah.
You know, because he adds that element of a 3-level scorer.
Right.
You know, he can shoot the 3, he can create his own shot.
Yep.
You know, you have a guy like Randall. And especially when a team's playing small ball because they don't have like a big center or anything.
Right, yep.
Like go Randall, Naz Reid, go Jaden McDaniels, go with length, athleticism.
Yep.
Give me a little Dante and Ant out there instead of Conley. Just create offense.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to change it up. Obviously, those last 2 games, you have a reference point of what's not working.
Right.
So let's just not do that again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's find a different solution because that ain't it.
Yeah. There you have it. Quick and brief NBA highlights. Now let's do the same really fast
Real quick.
with the NHL.
Yeah, stick with us here till the end. But yeah, lastly, you have Thursday night. Yeah, the Capitals went on the road against the Montreal Canadiens, and they won 8-4. Big scoring affair there.
Ovechkin.
Alex Ovechkin, one of my favorite players to ever play hockey. Fun to watch. Obviously, one of the best goal scorers, if not the best goal scorers of all time, since he is number 1. He moved to 10th all time in points, passing Joe Sakic with 1642.
Let's go.
10th all time is crazy, man. That's a lot of points. I mean, obviously, a lot of his are goals,
Right.
but those assists do add up, and so I mean, that's just gotta. Anytime history's in the discussion, you gotta talk about it a little bit. So, all right. Well, this is the team. We called it. I called it. I said the Avalanche are the team to beat, and here we are. Thursday, the Avalanche hosted the Rangers, and they stayed red hot, winning their 7th in a row, 6-3, with only 1 regular season loss, not overtime. So one actual regulation loss on the season. The Avalanche have 1 loss on the season, and we're a month and a half, 2 months in.
Who called it?
They are, and we'll talk about them as we progress down this list. That still doesn't change. But either way, special for the Avalanche this year. They're just scoring up a lamp. Their tendies are playing phenomenal. It's been really cool to watch.
Crazy.
So, yeah, Wild went on the road Friday night
Let's go.
against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they won 5-0.
5th straight win?
Yeah, they're cooking right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was 4. I believe their 5th straight win came on the road on Saturday.
Got it.
Yep. They won back-to-back. They won 3-0 on Saturday against the Jets. Our tendies leading the league in save percentage right now. Our backup tendy, the Wild. So, they're hot.
Is there a hope here for a Minnesota team?
I don't know, man. It's cool to see.
It's early. It's early
cool
in the
to see.
season. Early in the season. Okay, it's temper expectations because it is a Minnesota team, and that's
Right.
generally how we do it.
Right. The only other team that's been hotter in the NHL is the Avalanche, which won 3-0 on Saturday. Another dominant victory, just 8 in a row. And they also went on the road against the Blackhawks and won 1-0 on Monday night.
Dang.
So 9 straight victories out of that Avalanche. They're just racking up the points. So yeah, they're a good team. It'll be fun to watch. They're in our division, of course. So of course, it makes it tough to win.
That'll
our
be a
division.
tough one.
And with the Dallas Stars too.
Yeah.
So. Either way,
So you're saying we have a pretty stacked division. It's going to be a tough one.
Potentially 3 best teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. So, but either way, it's a good start to the hockey season. As we get colder weather here in Minnesota, we'll ramp it up. Maybe as the NFL season dies down a little bit going into January, we'll kind of up our coverage on the day-to-day process on that and give you guys more insights on it if you'd love to hear it.
Supposed to get the first big snow here in Minnesota. Sorry.
Yeah.
Big snow here in Minnesota coming tomorrow, Wednesday. What's that going to be? November 26th.
6th, yeah.
So, things are getting nice and chilly up here, and it's going to feel right to be talking about the NHL. But that's it. That's the show.
Yeah.
Okay? Talk about who's your favorite team this week. It doesn't matter. College,
Yeah.
NFL, NBA, NHL. Just put it in the comments. Let us know what your favorite team is this week. Also, give us your fantasy. Who's going to get your fantasy game ball this week?
Ooh.
Let us know in the comments below who you think the best player of the week was That would be awesome. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check us out on all the other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. We're everywhere. Okay?
It goes a long way. It helps us
does.
out big time.
Yep.
Sends it out to the world.
Trying to get this channel to grow and reach awesome people with some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next episode. Peace.